goopy RS 6 spokes with some freshly wrapped Continentals. We are all season set up on the wagon now, boys, and we are also officially aligned. Alignment went through. I eyeballed the camber to -1 degrees on one side and 1.2 degrees on the other side. Kept it at that. Really, the only thing that was changed was the toe and the rear, and then I think the steering adjustment, because I added some steering knuckles. So really cool that I was minimal changes and spent all that money for minimal changes. But neither here nor there. We're back at it. We've got the wagon somewhat under control. There are some things I still need to sort through. We'll get there. But we want to refocus our attention onto the coupe. We've got some prime weather ahead of us. We know we have some body work we got to do, and we know we've got some paint to do. But before we get to that, we're actually going to probably get the car running, obviously, or a combination of both. But today, we're actually going to take the Eastwood Fender Roller here and put her to use again. I don't know how many fenders we've rolled, but we're doing it again. I don't know if I've really done a good explanation on the channel. There's really not much to explain. You know, once you get the tool, you'll kind of get an idea of adjustments and such yourself. But the arm here adjusts outwards there. You have an angle you can control here, and you have pressure here. I think lefty loosey puts pressure out towards you, and righty tighty brings it back towards the hub. So that's kind of the idea of the tool, and you really just have like some kind of polyurethane or some kind of like mallet material is what it feels like, and you roll the fender with that. Where the heat gun comes into play is to keep the paint from cracking. Now, since we're already going to be sanding and doing work with these fenders and stuff, I'm not too worried about them cracking, so I'm not going to be using a heat gun today. Another thing I forgot to mention is that I've already removed the liner, but the liner will need to be removed in order to roll the fender. In some cases, you'll be able to put the liner back on. I have a good set of liners now from the wagon. Thank you, wagon, because before I think that one of them was ruined, so I will probably put the liners back on this car, because this car has the actual important motor in it, and I don't want it to be hydroplaned. So that side always kicks water into it. But another thing we need to also mention is that these the back fenders have like a rubber lining, and that'll be removed as well. So some things to look out for. The rubber lining's a lot easier than the fender liner. To help you get those fender liner pieces out, this is a pretty good, there's a tool set at Harbor Freight you can buy, and this is like the most important one that I use most often here. But anything like this plastic stuff's really good for removing those pins or like things. Usually they just break, so you're gonna have to get new ones, and with them being folded upwards after your fender roll, you're likely just gonna zip tie your current stuff back in there. So it's kind of a funky thing, but this is a good tool to have. It's a Harbor Freight special. It's probably like $8 for the set, but I already have all of the liners taken out, so we won't have to worry about those. Another thing knocked off the list. Now that the fenders are rolled, we got a slight pull going, which is nice. Not too aggressive because we don't have really a wide set of wheels with the BBS wheels that I'm running. But this was, I rolled fenders obviously on a 99 2.5 Impreza RS, gc8 Impreza, whatever have you. This was fun. I hope you learned a lot. If there's anything that I could point out more, obviously the main point here is that if you don't use a heat gun, you will crack. You can see it's all over the floor. So I'm painting the car, that's obvious. In the rear, I probably could have spent a little bit more time, but because I know that I'm not going very wide right now, I'm not too worried about it. So we did, it's not really that, it's actually, let's see. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's just a bit thicker material in the rear, so it's a little bit more to work it. So I could have worked it more than I did, but I worked it for a while. So I don't know if that was able to come through the time lapse. I did have a little bit more of a section there. Buy a fender roller, a heat gun, have at it. There's really not much more to it. You bolt it down, make sure it's secure. Look at your where your forces go, how the angles and forces, and if you're rolling, if it's popping and making a bunch of noise. You're just trying to avoid putting dents in this increase, and you don't want to crease these lines that you have, body lines. You don't want to screw those up. That's the main goal. You want it to make it look natural and not wavy. There are some parts you can kind of see like some wavy bacon fenders. You're trying to avoid bacon fenders is all I'm trying to help you here achieve. And basically take your time. Don't do this in a rush. Just hammer through it, but don't have a rush. If you rush through it, you might as well just do it with a baseball bat and booger up those fenders. So, but yeah, I'm glad with how they turned out. Another car with rolled fenders of mine. Hopefully that's helpful to you. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe for more future content with the gc8. For one, whatever traveling I end up doing in the future here. The seasons are changing, boost weather's coming, this paint needs to get done. So hopefully we'll have some more content here in the future for you. But as I guess that's it for now. Hope this fender rolling video tutorial dealio helped you out somewhat. Thank you for watching.